My dudes, my guys, my freaking boys. Today we're here to talk about my 1991 Honda Civic Wagon. It's a factory RT four-wheel drive wagon that has been K24 swapped and still retains the all-wheel drive system. Let's just get to the important part, open the hood, and we'll just dive into everything in there. In the engine bay, we have a JDM K24A. We originally swapped this with a K24 A2. I really wanted a K20 just because everything in the EF engine bay fits a lot better with the K20s over the K24s. But the K24s are a lot cheaper and they make more power, so kind of you get what you get, right? Some of the notable things on this motor is we ran the PRB intake manifold. I think it's off like a RSX Type S. We have a RSX Type S throttle body. With a throttle body, I don't have anything plugged into the idle air control valve at the moment, so it does idle surge after a certain temperature. I'm gonna try to solve that. If you guys want to see videos on it, let me know. I had to custom build a throttle cable bracket. The throttle cable that I'm currently running is a DX EF throttle cable because they're super long. This is honestly a little bit too long for this setup, but it works. We are running no power steering because it would hit the hood, no AC because it's a swap car. We have RDX injectors. I have an eBay fuel rail. We did all of the Evil Energy AN lines. They're the PTFE lines. The reason why I did PTFE lines and the RDX injectors is because in the future, I would like to put a flex fuel sensor in here and be able to run E85. We have an Aeromotive fuel pressure regulator with a gauge. All the fuel lines are plugged into the factory locations using compression fittings. As for the transmission, this is where it gets a little bit goofy, and what makes my setup a little bit different than everybody else's is I have a Honda Element all-wheel drive transmission. So a lot of people use the CRV transmissions. Honestly, if you're going to do this, you should probably use a CRV transmission. I've had issues with this, and I think I have a bunch of issues specifically because it's the Element transmission. One of the issues I had was the physical trans casing itself was hitting the subframe, so I had to shorten that. And when I shortened it, now I'm not able to run the rear mount on the motor mount setup for the T-bracket. It's like a whole ordeal I can't figure out. Another issue that I'm having is axles. So it's my understanding that with K-swaps in EFs, everybody has issues with axles. A lot of people just run the 36mm axles and hubs and do all that stuff and they say they fit. I'm kind of nervous. I think it's specifically because of the Element transmission that why my stuff's not working. But for the passenger side, I have a Honda Element half shaft and a RSX base model axle. That's working great for me. A lot of people say that's too short for their setups, but it's working great for me. The driver's side is the side that I have a ton of issues with, which no one else has issues with. My thinking is maybe it's because it's Element transmission. Maybe it's like pushed out further on this side or something. I have no idea. But so the axle I have on this side is a RSX base axle that I cut in half and shortened. So it's shortened 1 inch. I'll throw some pictures of that in the video here. Other than that, it has a stage 2 competition clutch. It has 02 to 05 Civic EX, or base model, I guess would be the same thing. Shift cables, so that's right, this is D17 shift cables and a K24 application, kind of weird. I'm also running the Hush Performance cable to hydro kit because they're the best. You have to swap over to hydro to do setups like this. Something else that's pretty cool with this is we are running the Volkswagen Scirocco radiator. We did have to modify it a little bit to get it to work the way I wanted it to work. I know there's people that do other things and get them to fit other ways. This is just the way that we did it. So what I ended up doing is I flipped the radiator upside down. So the drain is now at the top, which is not ideal. But I modified the inlet, the upper inlet, to be smaller diameter because factory, the Scirocco radiators are bigger hose up top and a smaller hose at the bottom. So the smaller hose was a perfect size. The upper one was too big, so we chopped it, modified it. I had a fan shroud off of a 240SX that I cut in half. I used that fan and then modified a hanger for the rest of it. So we have a full size, or well, 3/4 size fan shroud basically. And then I had to build custom mounts for it. The part numbers for the hoses I will find for you guys and put them in the video right now. Another thing with the transmission side of things is the drive shaft. Now, this is a sore subject for me. So I have the motor on the low setting currently. That's the only way it'll clear the hood. So my hood fully shuts, as you can see at the beginning of this video, which is awesome. The issue that I have with that is when I did it originally, I had it on the high setting, trying to get the oil pan up off the ground because the oil pan does hang very low. I never moved the rear T-bracket one. So the rear T-bracket mount was on the high setting and these were on the low setting. And I got the drive shaft built, which you have to shorten the drive shaft. You have to add a different U-joint and it's a whole ordeal. You have to take it to a drive shaft shop, get it balanced, all this. There was no way for me to measure it correctly. So it ended up being about a 1/4 inch too short. So I had a 1/4 inch spacer made. Car drove great. Even though the motor was tilted forward, it drove phenomenal. When I went to swap the JDM K24A in, I realized that that's what I had done. So I lowered it back down. Then that was too short with a 1/2 inch spacer. So I did a 1/2 inch spacer. Now, I don't know, something in here is vibrating pretty rough. Like after you get up to speed, it's fine. Just accelerating, it's really bad. I don't know if this axle's short, but it really feels like something in the drive shaft. So I'm wondering if the drive shaft is out of balance or something like that. I do have another drive shaft that I'm gonna have to get cut. It just hurts my soul because they're so expensive, but I'll figure that out. As for some of the main swap things that you'll need, I have the Hasport EF K2 motor mounts, so they're the dual height ones. It's literally just me. It's literally just me, Peanut. It's just me. Right now would be a good time to tell you guys I'm a WiseFab dealer. If you guys have any WiseFab parts and or accessories that you need, please contact me. I'll get you the best pricing that I can. WiseFab. It's just me. It's just me, baby. It's just me, baby girl. That's my baby. Okay. All right, so back to the swap things. We also have 3 different billet pieces that I opted to get. I don't think they're absolutely necessary, but for me, it was something that I wanted. It makes everything a little bit easier. The first thing is this coolant neck up here on the top of the head that goes to the top of the radiator. It moves your radiator cap up higher. K-series are notoriously kind of hard to bleed the coolant system, so I opted just to get that. Like I said, you can probably do it with a stock one. The second one is the billet one on the front of the head. I ended up having to get that because we're running a K20 intake manifold and all that stuff. If you ran a K24 one, you wouldn't need it. And then the bottom one, which I want to change out, is the thermostat housing. So when I ordered this, I ordered it wrong, right? So this is the swivel thermostat housing. I don't really like it. I wanted the one that bolted to the water pump housing itself. I'm gonna end up ordering that one. So something to keep in mind there. This definitely works for what we're doing right now. It's fine, but I do want the one that bolts directly to the water pump housing in the future. As for wiring, we are running a stock TSX Type S engine harness. It goes to a versatile jumper harness, which it's a plug and play jumper harness. I have mixed feelings about that. I had a little bit of issues with it. Still think I have a couple issues with it, but it's been working so far, so it is what it is. We'll figure it out. I also wire tucked to the car. For the most part, it's not perfect, but I took all the wiring. If you guys know anything about EFs, there's a ton of wiring on each frame rail. All that's tucked up under. I did the Honda, or not Honda Odyssey, it's a Odyssey battery. It's like a little tiny battery. I made a custom mount for it and mounted it directly to the traction bar. And in the future, what I'm gonna do is I have some carbon fiber. I wanna make carbon fiber like plates on the sides so it forces all the air to go through the radiator to help with cooling. And that'll cover the battery and that'll be perfect. The ECU that we decided to run is we decided to go K-Pro V4 just for the simple, it just plugs in and it works. You know what I mean? It already has a base map on it. You don't have to get it tuned immediately. I do want to get it tuned in the future, of course, but immediately it doesn't need to be tuned. The car runs, drives perfect, everything works. I would like for it to run fuel tech, but just for the ease of plug and play, it's ready to go. K-Pro is the best for that, so we did that. Something else I didn't think about while doing this swap is something to think about is factory, the engine's on this side, the transmission's on this side. So when the engine's on this side, the exhaust routing for like the exhaust tunnel, if you want to call it that, because it's next to the drive shaft, is just like a little bit of a hump that they allow the exhaust to go through. You can't use that anymore. So you have to move it to this side where there's none. So the exhaust does hang kind of low, which I didn't even think about that when I was doing all this. Definitely something to keep in mind. Some future plans that I have for this thing is I have a JDI Ghost Box Bluetooth to install, because I'm going to take this head unit out and put in a factory Honda 1000 option radio head unit. That way my interior's completely stock looking, which that's kind of the goal, is to have like a, what did they call it, an OEM plus build, basically, where it just looks stock, but then K series, you know what I mean, make some power. At some point I'm going to build a header, because this one just is not the move. It's hitting the proportioning valve where the brakes come in and then feed front and rear. It's just hitting that, and I've tried to move it and bend it and did all I can. It can't really work. The other issue with it is I had to bend the fuel line. It's supposed to come out of the firewall straight. It's bent at like a 90-degree angle to get it to turn. If you guys watch Young Static, you've seen his video about it. I don't like that. It's really close to the header. I have a heat shield on it, but I don't like it. The other issue I have is I can't run the blend door actuator because the header's in the way. So I'm just gonna build a header, man. It's just way easier. So I'm gonna build a header, exhaust. I'll do all that at one shot. If you guys want to see that, let me know. Or if you want to see a video with the JDI Ghost Box, let me know, and I can definitely film it. As long as everything goes well and I can get all this stuff buttoned up by winter time. During winter, I'll pull this motor back out. I would really love to do the 6-gear mod in this, because the element transmissions are real short geared, so that'd be really cool. I'd also very much like to do a 50-degree VTC gear, which I have one already, and then an RSX oil pump. So if anybody has an RSX oil pump laying around, talk to me. I'm really trying to do that, because I'd love to be able to rev this thing out a little bit. But yeah, overall, that is kind of what's needed. Game plans for the car. I didn't do a very big like build video for this thing, simply because it wasn't getting any views. So I'm not going to put effort into something that's not getting like any return, basically, you know what I mean? So I kind of figured I would just finish the car up and then show you guys, talk about it, stuff like that. And from now on, it'll just be fixing random things if you guys want to see that, and then racing it and doing whatever we do with it. The end goal with this thing is to be able to travel. I really want to be able to travel in this thing. So I have some plans for that and stuff like that, but we got to get everything buttoned up first. So if you like this one, let me know down in the comments below. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. Peace.